Hi everyone, it's Alisa Tilsner and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. Today we are going to be creating this gorgeous card here, nice and soft and, what would you call them, romantic colours maybe? We are looking at our designer series paper, which is on, select designer series paper, which is actually on sale in October. So I am featuring cards using designer series paper. So this one is the Peony garden designer series paper, and I am going through it. So let's have a quick look at the double-sided paper that we have. So this one is not the one that we'll be using. This one's done in a darker grey, and then we've got marble on the other side. Another one, and I love the patterns. I don't know whether that's picking up some of those patterns quite, but they're just so lovely and subtle. I actually might bring them up closer for you to look at. Some of them are very, very subtle. And then I've got little bits of these left over. This is the one that we're actually using in our card today. I love both sides of all of these. Love this one. I think that's it. I think we've gone through them all my little offcuts, which is really handy because we're using a lot of scraps in our card today for our layering. Okay, so what we will be requiring is a petal pink base of 10.5 by 26 and scored and folded at the 13 centimetre mark. So our finished size is 10.5 by 13. We're actually going to do a landscape card though, so it's going to open like a book instead. And then we've I really literally just took scraps of card off my desk. So we will be using the designer series paper, which is 13 by I think 6, a scrap of white, our focal image, because we're actually going to colour our designer series paper. So this one is 5 by 9.5. And then these were literally just scraps. As you can see, I've got bits and pieces left over. So a little piece of the grey granite one so that it ties in. And then because I coloured in with some green, we're going to chuck in some just some scraps of old olive and a scrap of the darker grey, which is the going grey. Basic grey, just to deepen it all up because that is one of the colours. So we are literally just using scraps on our desk. So let's get started. I'm just going to bring in some of my grid paper so I don't get just in case my blends tend to go through. Now I will be having to speed this up. Let me see if I can just zoom in a little bit for our colouring. I will be speeding this up because it doesn't take too long, but it's pretty simple and I'm sure that you don't really need to. And now I've just realised that I haven't got my glasses with me either, so this will be interesting. So I'm using the petal pink, light and dark. We're not doing anything fancy. Old olive, light and dark. The grey granite in light, and our colour lifter. So I'm going to start with my light one first. As you know, normally I will start with my dark one. But I'm going to start with my light, and hopefully I can actually see what I'm doing. And the light one just doesn't take hardly any time at all. So I'm going to go over all of my flowers with the light first, and then I will be back to show you the next step. Okay, I think I got them all. Okay, so the next step is to go in with our dark, and I'm basically just going to go over all the shadow areas. So I'm just going to, and I'm not even going to be really neat about it, just wherever there's a little bit of dark shadow, I'm just going to put down a little bit of the dark petal pink blends. So I will go through and do all of that and come back for the next step. Okay, I think I've got everything there. So the next step is just to repeat the same type of process, but with the old olive. So I'm just going to pop down the old olive first, and this way you will probably find little bits of petals from the flowers that you've missed. But just pop down your light first, and then I will go back with my dark. So I will do that all in one step for this, and I will be back with you soon. Okie dokie, so there is our base colours. Now it's quite stark still, which I'm just going to soften a little bit. So with my grey granite, anything that's underneath, I'm just going to put a little bit of grey granite, nothing too fancy either, and I'm just going to pop that on the underside of my leaves. And flowers. So I'm not even taking very much care when I do this. I think I got it all. And then with the colour lifter, I'm just going to go over that again and just take out. So what will happen is that grey will really soften and look like a bit of a shadow underneath. When you do this, because we're actually working on paper and not Whisper White, it actually looks like the colour lifter is going through the paper, so it doesn't look quite great here, but when it dries again, it's just the alcohol going through the paper. So when it dries, it actually softens it up and you end up with a really nice just soft shadow underneath it, just to take away the starkness of the white paper. Okay, we are done with all our colouring. Now we are left to our assembly. So this is where the fun comes in, and honestly, what I do when I'm, actually I need my sentiment. What I do when I'm playing is I just go, right, well I know I want my basics to look like this. And then I just start picking up little scraps of paper and I go, right, well, you know, I can pop that under there. And then I had this under here. And then I thought, well, because I've used some green, let's, you know, grab some green. And that's how my cards pretty well come together. So when you're using little scraps, that's how I do it. I just find little pieces that I can pop under layers. Instead of using a full layer, I just sort of pop them under. Now my sentiment is from the Itty Bitty Birthdays. I've already got it out. And I'm just going to stamp it in the basic grey onto a scrap of Whisper White. Easy. Get that out of the way because I know what will happen, and I've got my nice new backdrop here and I don't want to get ink on it. That would be just my luck, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to trim a fairly tight trim for this one. I think that one needs to be about 5 centimeters, I think. Okay, very tiny. So let's start. We're just going to pop a little slither of green, forgetting where I am, a little sliver of old olive just behind my happy birthday. just so that it's got a little bit. Try and, whoops, there we go. Just try and center that up a little bit. Okay, and then for this panel, I work on everything for this. Once I've worked out whereabouts I want all my little layers, I just start going from there. So this one will go under here first. I think I'll just use my liquid glue. Okay, so we just center that, and I just want a sliver of that as well so that it matches the sliver of green that I have under my happy birthday. The next one, I'm going to put a slightly thicker piece of the basic grey. So that one can be a thicker piece. And just adhere that. And then this was just a scrap. I didn't even trim it down, and that one can go at the top. I can pick it up. So just be aware of the pattern that's on there. You'll just see a little bit of the pattern. And we'll do a small amount of that as well, because we want to see some of the pattern. Okay, and then that just gets stuck onto the card front. And hopefully my sticky adhesive will behave with me. Just got to go slow with this one because I'm working on paper. I don't want it to actually tear my paper. There we go. Make sure my card's up the right way. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this down. Easy. See, just gives a little bit of different layering. I quite like this style. Okay, so let's get some dimensionals happening on our focus panel. You could even stick, you know, if you had another piece of grey, you could stick a little piece out this side, or another piece of green maybe. You can just oh, sky's the limit, isn't it really? It's just your imagination. I think I missed a backing there. There we go. Okay. So this one's going to look a little bit different to my previous one because this piece here is a little bit higher up. And let's get some mini dimensionals happening on this piece here. And we just want a little bit of normal glue. Oops, I hope I've done them on the right way. And you know what? I haven't. I was just going to say you need to check because I've just stuck that dimensional in the wrong spot. Let's see if it sticks on there. Because we want this bit down flat so that we don't have a wonky, oops, I don't know that that's going to stick now. Oh, you know what? I've just done this whole thing in Zoom. I'm so sorry. I hope that it is in screen because I really don't want to have to go through that again. There we go. I am hoping that it was in. Oh, the joys of filming, hey? Okay, so now we have some of the elegant faceted gems, which are a complementary part of this suite. And I'm just going to use some of the petal pink dots for this. One over here. And another small one. Oh, sticking to my, I've left his dot behind. It's okay, we'll pop the dot there and then we'll stick that onto the dot. There we go, easy fixed. So there we have another great card, and stocking up on my, so you can just see that there's a little bit of difference there. And so there's a little bit of colouring, not too much. It's not fancy colouring at all by any means. Whoops, bring it down. So there we have it, and thanks very much for watching. When I go back to watch this, I've got to go and edit it now, so I'm hoping that I'm in screen for you. So thanks very much for watching, and we will see you again soon. Bye.